Do you know why string operations in Python is so important in VLSI? Want to know the relevant string operations in Python? Do you know the escape characters in Python? Stay tuned till the end of the video to know all the answers.
Hey guys, welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to discuss the below points. First, we will discuss the very important topic, why string operations is important in VLSI. Now, string operation means whatever string operations we are going to do in rest of our slides and upcoming episodes of string. So why they are important? Why you should learn string so well that you can use it as per the need of the VLSI. Now, what are the needs? When you know, you have the proper motivation to learn the strings. Next, we will go in the technical stream after discussing the need, and the very first technical point is accessing element and slicing of string. Next, we will talk about the change case and checking of start and end of a string. Next, we will talk about counting, replacing and converting to a list. So here we will consider the string as a list and we will do these operations, the counting, replacing and converting. Next, we will do the concatenation or joining of the strings. That means you have two separate strings or you have more than two strings which you want to join together to make a new string. So that we will learn how to do it in this particular slide. Next, we will go for splitting of strings, the single delimiter. We can split a string based on a particular delimiter. Now, we will try out the splitting mechanism using a particular single delimiter. Next, we will go in more detail and we will use the multiple delimiter method for splitting of strings. In the final slide, we will discuss escape sequence in strings. So these are very important because this also you might have seen in programming language like C or Perl. So what are the escape sequences? We will learn and go through them. So here are the list of topics that we are going to cover today in this episode. And before beginning any slide, I would like to mention that you will get the codes in the video description which you can download from the GitHub link provided against each of the slide. So there will be a name, right, as per the usage and program, whatever we are writing here, and you will get them from GitHub. You will have to click the link and download the code from GitHub. Without any further delay, let's begin. This is the most important slide before we dive into the strings in VLSI. Why string operations is important in VLSI? First, input-output validation. String parsing helps validate input data and EDA tool output file as a part of the VLSI QC/QA. Next, locating faults. It assists in locating the source of errors or faults by parsing error messages from log files. So the first point is about the QC and QA, that is quality check and quality analysis. So this is true for any other scripting language which can do parsing and string processing. The next point is data extraction. String parsing allows the extraction of relevant information from large data or text file for analysis. This means, say you have a large .lib file from which you want to extract some particular cell information. So you can have a script or Python module, and according to that module, you have to give the proper directions or instructions to extract the particular cell information from the .lib file. Next, compliance testing. It helps verify the compliance with industry standards by parsing the design output files or reports. Here we give an example, right? Some special part of a .lib file. Say the .lib files are generally created through the standard cell characterization process, but it may happen in your design house, some extra data that is getting generated by your design teams for each and every cell. And that data is internal data to your company, and and that is not publicly available as a part of the .lib which you have received from the standard cell package or library or PDK or DK, whatever you say. Now that part, the extra part that you are generating, right, for the .lib, you have to do the compliance checking. That means whether it is up to the mark for the .lib as per the latest standards. So that can be done using the string parsing. That means the .lib, whatever part you are generating and writing, maybe you are entering or appending to an existing .lib file, or you are creating a separate .lib file, whatever is applicable. In that case, you can check whether whatever data has been entered is in correct format or not, or as per the compliance of the .lib or not. So this is another purpose of the string operations, that whatever we do with the strings, we do checking, we do parsing, we do comparing, everything that is needed at this point. So far we have discussed 4 points and we have more points for which we have to learn very carefully the string operations in VLSI. Next, automated string. String operations are crucial generating input test vectors. Whenever we are generating some test vectors for our design, we generally do not do it by our own hand. That means we do not type every 1 and 0 by our hand. So that will be done by some scripts, and that script, whether you are generating the data or checking the sanctity of the data, that has to be done by the string operations of the scripting language. Here we are talking about Python, because in front end most of the vector generations are done by the Python, because Python is very much popular in the front end VLSI. Next, enhances efficiency. On the fly string parsing improves the efficiency and effectiveness of the VLSI automation scripts. The string manipulation capability, that is whatever we are reading, we are checking, and maybe we are dumping it or writing it as a file. So this efficiency helps in the automation process. That means the string handling capability of any scripting language makes it robust for automation. The more it can deal with the strings, more it is applicable for the automation, because here whatever we are running in the terminal or what we are getting as an output, everything comes in form of text, and text is nothing but the collection of strings. So this is the basic difference between a grammatical perspective of a text and the programming perspective of a text. So there are two different perspectives. In grammatical perspective, we will check whether the text is correct or not, and for the VLSI perspective, we will check whether every data is as per our compliance and standards of the industry, file formats, or maybe a IEEE file format or an Accelera file format, whatever we are dealing with. We must be aware of the standards, and we will be able to check that standard through the string manipulation and string operation capability of any scripting language. The final point is ensures quality. Finally, all of the above together contributes to the overall quality and reliability of the VLSI design. That means when we have all these things together implemented in our script, that means the script or scripts or the bunch of scripts that the automation team is using, when they have all of these features enabled through the scripting language, that helps the design to become less error prone and many faults, that means the faults that can be detected by the computer and the programming language, are done. So the rest of the things, that means whatever remaining for the human verification, is in very small amount. That means you are having a less human effort for the design validation, whatever type of validation it may be. So that's the importance of the string operations in VLSI. We are focusing on Python, and most of these points are applicable to Python when the Python is used in the front-end automation. So here we are done with the slide. Let's move on to the next slide. Accessing element and slicing operation in string. So here is our first line of the code, and this is our Python interpreter for the Python 3. Next line goes our string, where we assign the value hello hello my world. Next line is a comment. We are accessing the characters. So first character, this means this, will be string 0. Again, the last character, that means this, will be accessed by string -1. Now here you can see we are taking the continuous string and thinking it as a list or array. So we are accessing each and every element. The concept is very similar to whatever you have learned in the C language. Next, we print the first character. Next, we print the last character. And next, we will move on to the slicing. Substring 1. Now, slicing means we have this, right? But we need a portion of the string, and this is a non-destructive slicing. Let me emphasize on this point. This is a non-destructive. That means we say our need is from here to here. That means from index 6 to index 11. Slice out that part and save it into another variable. But however, do not destroy the original one. So this is a non-destructive. The slicing in general, when you are slicing a fruit, it is destructing, right? When you are cutting a fruit, it is actually cutted into pieces. But for string operations, it is a non-destructive one. That means the mother string here is not destroyed at all. That means it remains intact, and the substrings or the child strings which we are generating through the slicing process contains our desired target. The next example is that substring 2 is string that is :8. That means we are not mentioning anything here as we mentioned 6 here. So this means slice from the beginning up to the index 8. That means when we do not mention anything here at the first point, we get the string from the very first index point up to the index point we are talking about. Next, we are having the substring 3 is string, then 9, then :, and then we do not have anything here at the last point. So what this means? This means slice from index 9 to the end. Again, I am emphasizing that all of these slicings are non-destructive. That means the original string is intact and you are extracting the part of the string as a new child string called substring, and the substring is not a variable. This is a concept. But however, to relate the concept to the variable, we have named all the variables as substring. Next, we print out the first one, second one, and third one. And as we run this code in our terminal, we get the output here. So here you can see the first letter is H, which we got from this, and from this we got the last character as D, and D is nothing but this D, right? So the first thing is done here, the first part, and the slicing part, if you see right from 6 to 11, it gives hello only. So it's your task. You find out the index and you see whether what we got is correct or not. However, since we are using the standard Python codes, so whatever you are getting is expected. That means we are getting in from index 6 to index 11, and this is a non-destructive slicing, and the first substring is hello. The next one is from the beginning to the index 8, and here we get hello he. That means from this up to this we are getting, and slice from the 9 to the end. That means whatever 9th is there to up to the end we will get, and here we can see LO my world. So this is LO my world is this much is going for this one. So this one is coming from this particular substring. First of all, to understand this, you have to run the code and do the modification in these numbers to understand in a more robust manner. In that case, so what will happen that once you change these index values and try out yourself, you can download the code from the video description from the GitHub link and try it at your end immediately after you finish watching of this particular video. So in that case, what will happen that you will learn how to extract a part of a string. So this can be very important when you are parsing any file and you get a particular type of error message, and you know that from index X to index Y there will be some determining string that you need that is existing there. So you can extract that string and do the checking on that particular string. So for that you can use the substring and the slicing. We have other methods too, will come later in this series, not in this episode. So here we are done with this particular slide. Let's move on to the next slide. Change case and checking the start and end. Start and end means the start and end of a string. So here starts our code. First line is the interpreter. Next line is our string, that is hello hello my world. Next, we have a comment in our code for later understanding. We are changing the case here in the below codes. First one is the lower case. So here we have lower case. It will be this string and we will have operation lower. So by birth, the Python is an object-oriented language, and this is a function defined inside the class of the string, right? That you can make it lower. And we are using that particular function here as dot lower. So it will change the entire string in the RAM, not in this particular variable, and output will get in this particular variable. To get the uppercase letters, we will use the dot upper one. Here we will use the string dot upper. Remember, here we are using the variable name as string, and hence we are writing string dot lower or string dot upper. In case this is different, in case this is XYZ, then it will be XYZ dot lower and this will be XYZ dot upper. We are done for the changing case. Now let me move on to the next line. Here we are printing the two variables for our display. And next we are doing some other operation. That is what? Checking strings starts with a specific prefix. That means we are entering this part, the checking of the start and end. First one starts with hello string, then we write here starts with hello. So this is an inbuilt function that it will check that whether the string starts with hello or not. So we will get a logical output here or boolean output here. Next we will print whether it starts with hello and give the variable name to check the output. Checking the string ends with a specific suffix, ends with world. So here we have world and we are naming the variable as per that. String dot ends with world. It will again give a boolean output, that means whether it is true or false. And here we print out that particular variable. So there will be lot of lines of code when you write a code, but however, what is the gist? That means what is the summary of the understanding, that will be very short, and that we are getting here in the output. So when we change to lowercase using this particular operation, we get the output as the lower. And when we are doing the uppercase, right, this one, and we are printing using this, and we get this particular output. So you can see all of the characters are here in lowercase and all of the characters are here in the uppercase. So here we are done. And in the next one, we are checking hello, right? And I said it will be a boolean output. So if we check the starts with hello, it gives the true. Yes, it is true. True is a boolean output and false is also a boolean output, because only two outputs will be in a boolean condition, whether it is true or whether it is false. And next, what we have here is the ends with also true, because we have given the word. Once you get the code from the description and download it from the GitHub, you can try out changing these particular things into different words and check whether whatever output you are getting. So that is how you will learn the Python code. So here we are done. Let's move on to the next slide. Counting, replacing and converting to list. So here we will do all this string operation. Let us start the example. First line is our interpreter. This you get as you type which Python 3 in your Linux terminal. And in case you are using the Windows, you will not be using this line. You will be using the rest of the code, because they are the Genie. Whatever ID we are using here, when you go to the run instruction, it will automatically find out the Python and it will run. We have demonstrated this in the installation episode of this series. In case you have not watched, please go to the playlist of Python for VLSI, and from there you find out the episode. And to find out the playlist, you have to go to the channel homepage and navigate to the playlist tab. Next we have the string hello hello my world, and then counting occurrences. So here we are using the inbuilt function, that is the count. This is string. Again, I am saying the variable name is string. Then we have the string dot count and we type hello. We can see visually there are two occurrences, but as per our programming, you have to count it. And for that, we will use this particular string dot count operation. Next, we print it. And here we say the occurrences of hello is count hello, and replacing the characters. Now let me move on to the next part of this code, where we are replacing. Then we say string dot replace hello with hi. So these two hellos will be replaced with hi. Next, the replace string we will print. And remember, this is again a non-destructive, because we are storing it into another variable. So the original variable will remain intact and we are getting the new changed string into another variable here. Next, splitting the string into a list. So here what will happen, right? Word list is string dot split, and here we write split, and we don't give anything here. As a result, it will split all the things. And let us see what comes as an output. As we run the code in the terminal, we get the output here. So this split operation will help us to get the list here. The first element is hello, second element is hello, then my, then word. So that means it is splitting with respect to the white characters. That means the spaces here 1, 2, 3. Now let us go back to the replacing character. We replaced hello with hi. So in that case, we are getting this second line. That means hi, hi, my word, instead of hello, hello, my world. And here we check the occurrences. So here we can get the occurrences. How many times hello is there? It is 2 times, because we can see first and the second occurrence. So these are some basic operations on strings using the inbuilt Python functions, that is obviously as a object oriented language. These are already defined in the class of the string. Okay, so from there we are using. We must know all these tools, because when you are actually doing the scripting of the VLSI, right, that time you don't have time to go around and search whatever you have to find and from where. So that's why you are learning this ahead and getting yourself prepared for the proper scripting. Anytime you can come back to this video and you can use the chapters to navigate to the respective slide. Remember, chapters you can find from the description, or it is also available if you move your slider to the video playhead moves like that, and here you will see small chapters will be there, and if you click on the beginning of a chapter it will move. So chapters are also here in the video timeline, and as per the playhead moves, from there you can also come to any particular slide. Otherwise you go to the description and click on the timestamp before this name. So you want to come to this slide, there will be timestamp and then the name of this particular slide. Here you just click on the timestamp, playhead will move directly to the video position where this slide is getting webcasted. So here we are done. Let's move on to the next slide. Here we will do the concatenation or joining of strings. Earlier we have done the splitting, right? Now we will do the joining. So first line is our Python interpreter. This is not needed in Windows. First string is str a quake. The next one is str2 is brown fox. And then we have str3 jumped over, and str4 is a lazy dog. And here we are doing the final concatenation. Concatenation means joining. We can use a simple plus sign here on the right hand side of the equation, where the left is a new variable and all these variables we are describing here. We add them 1, 2, 3, 4. In the sequence we are adding them. In the sequence the string will join. So if we change the sequence to str2 here and str1 goes here, then obviously the output string will be different. Print final. Length, len, then final. Okay, so these two. Next, 1, 2 and 3. So first we will print the final one, then we will check the length here, and then again we will print the length. So as we run the code in our terminal, we get this output. So here you can see the final string is a quick brown fox jumped over a lazy dog, and we have the length that is 40. So the string, the output string length is 40, and this is the output string. So this way you can simply join different particular strings and into a larger string, and you can also check its length. So here we are done with this example. You can go download this code from GitHub, link in the description of this video, and try out changing over the sequences and the content and whatever you want to do, whatever way you want to play with it. So please go ahead and download the code and try out at your end. Here in this particular slide, we will describe the splitting of the strings using a single delimiter. Earlier we have done the splitting, but there was no delimiter, and by default the white space was taken as the delimiter. Now here we will do the single delimiter splitting. Ashbang user bin Python 3 text red, green, blue, yellow, white. So we have comma separated values of different colors, right, inside one particular string, and here we are naming the string as text. So we are not naming in as string earlier what we are doing. Next, we import the regular expression module, that is by the command import re. We will talk about the Python modules after a couple of episodes later in a specific episode for the Python modules. But the use is very simple. We can import entire module of the regular expression in our code by using this. Next, here we type the broken, that means whatever broken is variable. Later we'll see type of variable is broken. We do the re.split. So this is a function defined in this particular module, and we use the delimiter as comma, and we give text as our input string on which we will do the split operation. and here we print our broken, and as we run the code we get this output. You can see this now is a list of the splitted strings. So that means when we split with respect to comma, we have different colors: red, green, blue, yellow and white. They are coming as the first, second, third, fourth and fifth element of a list. So this way you can do the splitting of a string using a single delimiter. Now here we are done. Please go ahead and download the code and try it at your end and try out with different combination as your mind thinks, and let me know if you are facing any troubles. So in the video comment. We are done here. Let's move on to the next slide. Splitting of strings with multiple delimiter. Let's begin our code. First line of the code is the Python interpreter, and next we have again our text. Here we have first one as the semicolon, second one as the comma, third one as the colon, and then again fourth one as comma. So we have multiple delimiters among the different colors, that is red, green, blue, yellow and white. Now we want to split every color like the previous example. How we do it? So here we again import our regular expression module, import RE, and here the grouping is done by the brackets, that means the third brackets. Here we say our variable broken will contain the broken parts, and here we write the re.split. So the split command is same as the previous slide, and it is a method or function defined inside the re module. So this will take the delimiters as comma, then semicolon, then the colon as delimiter. So all these delimiters will be used for the splitting operation of this string, that is text, and here we have our output as broken. Now as we run this code in our terminal, we get the below output. So you can see the output is same as the previous one. Here we are getting red, green, blue, yellow and white as the 5 elements of a list, and here we have used the multiple delimiter method of splitting. So we can see in this particular slide we have used multiple delimiter splitting to get the desired output. So we can see that in this particular slide we have get our desired output with the grouped splitting options for all of the grouped delimiters. So we are done here. Let's move on to the next slide. Escape sequence in string. So this is a very quick go through for this slide and the next slide. We will go through the escape sequences. Many of you know about these escape sequences in case you have learned the C language. In case not, you will get your informations here. So the escape sequence here is used for the special characters that are used for special purpose. That means if we are using a backslash, right, it will act as a special character. But to get the backslash as backslash, we will use the double backslash method, and output we are getting as a backslash inside the string. And in case you want to have the entire string, right, remember earlier we have said that we can get a raw string by the R in the last episode. So here you can see that we can do printing of a single quote by using a preceding backslash. So we'll get a single quote. For double quote, we have to use the backslash double quote. For B, that is a ASCII backspace. That means this is a backspace character, special character. This is a new line character. Okay, so all these you can get by backslash B and backslash N. Otherwise, the B and N will be treated as the normal alphabets. Earlier, this was different. Earlier, you have to get the normal one, you have to use the backslash. But for these two, to get the special treatment, you have to use the backslash. We continue here. So backslash T is for the horizontal tab. That means in keyboard, when we are typing in a notepad, we hit the tab key, right? We get a jump of couple of white spaces. So this thing you can get with the backslash T in the print operation. Backslash V is the vertical tab, and backslash R is the carriage return, and backslash OTT is the character with octal value TT, and XHH character with the hex value of HH. So these are the escape sequences that you can use inside your string while you are giving the print operation, right? The escape sequences are used only in the print operation. Remember this, nowhere else. We are done discussing about the escape sequences in string in a very quick fashion, and let us move on to the next slide. Thank you very much for watching up to this point, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In case you have some dislikes, put that as in words in the comment section down below. And bye for today.